Most churches are not communicating very well with their people. I think you could do better. This week I have three ideas that will help you improve how you communicate the good news of your church with your people and your community. Welcome to Coffee with Coach. I have three goals for these videos: to help you become a better church leader, to save you time and money, to help educate, energize, and motivate you to help you energize and motivate your church. How many ads do you see every day that try to get you to do something, to buy something, to feel some way? Probably hundreds, maybe even thousands, definitely more every day. With all those clever companies yelling in your ears, assaulting your eyes, pulling at your attention, where is your church's message? If your church isn't out there competing for people's attention, you were deciding to decline. You were deciding to let your people not know what's going on. Today I've got three ideas for you, ideas you can use right now to change that. I know this is unpopular because people don't like to have committees. Well, form a task force. Form a communications task force, or committee, or board, whatever you want to call it, a communications group. Find at least three people who are in the age group that you want to be reaching the most, and ask them to serve on a committee for at least a year. They're out there. Whether they're young people or old people, find them. Three people. That's all you need. Just three. Ask them to meet weekly for the first month. Find a night when they can all meet. 4 or 5 times they're going to meet right away. And then write down every crazy idea they come up with. You're going to have lots of ideas. What you want this group to do is to look at the communications that you have in your church right now. How are you communicating the message? How are you communicating your activities? Write them all down and then talk about wild and crazy ways that they might improve that. Form a committee, brainstorm about it, actually think about it. Second thing I want you to do is to identify 2 groups in your church. These are primary groups. Really simple to identify. Who are the people in your church that know how to use a computer? They know how to use a tablet, they've got a smartphone, they've got an Apple computer, they've got a PC. They can actually sit down and get email, or they can do messaging, or they can do TikTok. I don't care. People that are comfortable with technology. And then the second group, the people in your church who are not comfortable with technology. Who are they? It's probably a smaller group, but they're distinctively left out of almost everything these days. These are people who get email never. These are people who get postal mail. They get snail mail. They get ads from everybody in the world stuffed in their mailbox every day, and probably not from you. So 2 groups, those who get email and those who do not get email. Now, make a list of these people. Actually make a list. Make a database. If they're email people, what are their email addresses? If they're people who like messaging, what are their messaging phone numbers? If they're people who don't get them, what are their addresses that you can post stuff to? These 3 methods are how you're going to reach everybody in your congregation. You're going to send them an email, you're going to send them a message, or you're going to send them a letter. Everybody. 100%. Got it? Make the list. Third thing, decide how best to reach these people. Now, I know you're thinking, well, it's really easy. We just send them a letter. Or it's really easy. We just send out an email. But everybody gets tons of letters. Everybody gets tons of emails. How do you make yours stand out? So have your group really think about these things. If you're going to do this, how can you drastically improve the methods that you're using or the methods that you want to use? What about content, graphics, videos, pictures, links, articles, ads, humor, spiritual content? How are you doing that? How can you improve that? How do you include those things in a way that makes people want to open your message and look at it every time you send it out? so that they don't go, oh gosh, it's another one of those things from that group. You want them to look at your stuff and say, oh, I can't wait to open this because this is what I want to see. If it's a church newsletter and you're sending it out, don't just make it an email that's just a letter. How can we make that fun? Can we put a picture on it? Can we put a cartoon in it? Can we put something that's going to make people want to open that letter and read it and find out what's going on in their church and what activities they want to take part in? If it's an email, same thing. How is it going to be reaching them with exciting stuff? How often can you do that? If it's email, you probably think, well, we can just send it out all the time. People don't want to get it all the time. They want to get it maybe once a month, once a week, twice a week. How often can you send it? With what regularity can you reach your people? And then think about how many activities you have in the life of church that need to be communicated to the people. Can you just send one email for one special event a couple days before the event and remind people? How do you do that? Think about it. Come up with a plan. It's that easy. 3 things. Form a committee, identify your groups, and decide how best to use your tools to reach them. Is that too complicated? It's really pretty simple. But I know so many churches that have just kind of abandoned communicating. They've stopped doing their newsletters. They send out emails that nobody wants to read. It's a terrible, terrible process. And in the process, people are not coming to church because we're not really communicating very well. Do those 3 things. Think about them, plan for them, implement them. You can do this. Okay, that was quick and dirty. Got a lot of stuff coming up during Lent. I'm really working on my podcast. I want to do that. I'm going to be doing a Lenten podcast. I'm doing a Lenten study. A lot of stuff coming up, so I made this one a little bit shorter. In the coming weeks, we're going to talk about how to improve your preacher's preaching and how to actually grow your church. So you'll want to stay tuned for those in the coming weeks. I'm Steve Petty. I hope you enjoy these videos. I hope you'll like to subscribe and click that little button down there that says subscribe. Let me know that you like this, that you're interested in what's going on. If you have questions or comments, if you've got things you want me to cover, things I haven't covered, send me an email, send me a text, send me a carrier pigeon. I don't care. Reach out and say, hey, Steve, do this. I'm happy to accommodate that. And like I said, subscribe. That's it for this week. I will see you in the coming weeks. I hope you're getting ready. Lent is coming. Bye.